Let's talk about a subject I wish someone had informed me about before attending a university for engineering. As a high school student or transfer student, it can be really stressful picking the next step in life. So today, I want to inform you to ease some of the stress you are feeling. Should you attend a UC or CSU for engineering? In this video, UC will refer to universities with the label University of California, and CSU will refer to schools with the California State University or Cal Poly labels. I will talk about the 4 most important aspects that you should take into consideration. These are institutional goals, cost, prestige, and resources available. I will be talking strictly about majoring in engineering at these institutions, so if you are majoring in any other field, this video might not be for you. This video was created from the experience of my colleagues and my own at UCs and CSUs, and some online data. To begin, we have to start with a question. What are your goals within engineering? This question will decide what school is best for you. Do you love engineering? Do you just want to make your parents proud? Do you want to change the world? Do you want to research and work on future technology? Or are you simply lost and don't know what you want to do in life? So take a few moments to think about that question. You can pause the video if you like. Now that you have thought about what your goals are, let's get informed. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will have an answer. So let's make a few columns and start comparing. I will name this one UC and this one CSU. Let's start with the institutional goals. UCs are research oriented. In fact, all UCs offering undergraduate degrees are classified as R1, meaning that they have the highest research activity. These schools tend to prepare you for graduate and doctoral programs, as opposed to industry. The subject will still apply to industry, but the main focus will be research skills. Also, the professor's priority is to research first and teach second, meaning that students spend most of their time learning from graduate assistants. On the other hand, CSUs are almost the opposite. CSU's primary purpose is instruction and research is secondary. This means classes and projects at a CSU are for the purpose of learning and preparing a student to work in industry. In fact, a good amount of CSUs have projects linked with companies, so the students actually get to work on a company project. After graduation, most of CSU engineers go directly to the workforce. Ultimately, both universities will give you the degree, so it's just a matter of whether your goals are aimed at research or to enter the workforce. Now let's talk about cost. For this, let's look at some data. Let's start with UCs. For UCs, we will look at these 2 pictures. In the first, we can see, looking strictly at tuition, that on average, to attend a UC, the cost is about $13,500 for a California resident. If you look at the cost for a non-resident, you're talking about $40,182. So let's go back to a chart and insert those numbers. Now let's look at the CSU data. As we can see in the picture, the average cost for attending a CSU for a California resident is about $6,881, and for a non-resident, it is an additional $248 for quarter unit or $372 per semester unit. So assuming you are taking 12 units per semester, you will be paying an additional $8,928 for a total of $14,400. So let's list those numbers. After looking at the data, we can conclude that technically a CSU will give you a better return on your money over the 4 years of attending the university, assuming you will graduate in 4 years and you are a California resident. You would have paid a total of $54,000 for a UC as opposed to only $27,524 for a CSU, about half the price for a degree. The reason I say CSUs have a better return is because on average, and I repeat, on average, engineering jobs have pay brackets. This means that the policy is that no matter what school you went to, if you have no experience, or typically less than 2 years of experience, you will be an engineer level 1. This means that you will get paid the same. Actually, a lot of my current coworkers attended UCs while I attended a CSU, and we all started at the same salary. After the first job, salary depends on your experience and your work ethic. This brings me to the next point, prestige. As a current recruiter for electrical and computer engineers, I can tell you that the name of the school matters, but to an extent. Typically, UCs are seen as more prestigious schools for several reasons. One, UCs are more well known due to their higher funding and their football teams, well, some more than others. So just name recognition already gives you an advantage. I remember going to an engineering conference a few years ago and meeting a recruiter on the flight. When I told him I attended a CSU, he asked, "Oh, why not a UC? Aren't they better?" He wasn't from California, but that day I realized school name does matter. I guess it's like the cover of a book. You don't know the content of a student, but you can see a shiny cover. But don't get scared. This is only the case if the student has nothing else on the resume. Again, this is typical. There are some CSUs with very well-known engineering programs. Cal Poly SLO is typically seen as one of the best engineering schools in California. The point is that you're paying for a well-known name on your resume. Whether it's worth the money is up to you. I will mention this, however, if you are really interested in a particular emphasis within your field, let's say artificial intelligence, certain schools offer classes and projects on the field and not others. So, if there's a field that you really love, you should look at schools that actually offer classes and projects that will focus on that particular field. If you are not sure or want to explore, you should choose a larger school with several disciplines. Finally, let's talk about resources available. This one will vary depending on the school, but in general, UCs are larger campuses. This means that there are more students and more alumni. This allows a larger number of students to attend and thus creates more clubs and groups, increasing the chances that you will find one that suits your interests. Also, the larger student alumni creates better support during your studies. As an example, larger schools will have more alumni in industry. So when a company is looking to recruit, they look at their employees and recruit at those schools. I know personally this happened where I work. Since we have a lot of alumni from a particular school, we have to attend that school's job fairs every semester. Also, if you just scroll down the list of clubs for several UCs and CSUs, you will see that UCs typically have way more clubs than CSUs. This means more support for engineering and other aspects of your life. So there you have it, the 4 most important distinctions between UCs and CSUs for engineering. If by this point you still have not made your decision, I will give you one last piece of advice. If money is not an issue to you at all and you are still not sure what you want to do, then I would recommend you go to a UC for the name, the available resources, and the percentage of graduates within a reasonable amount of time. However, if you are a student that will be paying for school on your own, or your parents will be struggling to pay, or you don't want high student loans, then I highly recommend you go to a CSU. At the end of the day, it is what you make of it. I personally attended a CSU, not a Cal Poly, and I managed to score 2 internships, and had several job offers lined up before I graduated. It will ultimately depend on your work ethic and how much effort you are willing to put in. Remember, you can shape the environment around you. The environment doesn't always have to shape you. As always, if you are interested in knowing more, please leave a comment and subscribe for more videos.